Wolfpack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Road Street. RoadStreetJournal.com, we breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with a pop-up happy Thanksgiving live stream for you. Got a bunch of questions already. I was kind of wondering, is anybody going to show up today? It's Thanksgiving. Who knows? But already a handful. See some legends in the mailbag. Love to see that. Let me know, too. I don't have like my usual recording set up clearly and whatnot. Make sure you let me know. Can you hear me okay? Is the sound all right? If you don't mind, let me know off the drop. That'd be really helpful, guys that are already in here. Thank you again so much, though. I hope everybody out there has a wonderful, wonderful holiday here. So thankful to have such amazing fans that are still turning out, even on a holiday here, whether you're getting the turkey ready, whether you're getting, the dishes, or maybe you're just hung over on the couch and you just need something to kill some time right now. We got a slate of football. I always love the Thanksgiving Day slate. So we'll break down some of that action, how I expect that all to go. And of course, we'll hit all of your sit starts. But if you don't mind, again, just let me know. Yeah, Campanelli saying he can hear me. Oh, I got to make sure Campanelli does get on in here. So let me send the mod on in here. Call in live. So that anybody that wants to jump in the live stream here, you can call in, of course, my man. But again, happy Thanksgiving to you all out there. Get all those questions on in. And especially if you're here with us early, that early thumbs up button does really, really help us out and get out to more people. So please do consider hitting that button on your YouTubes, likes, retweets, shares, wherever you're at. It would be greatly appreciated. There's my guy. What's up, Campanelli? Happy Thanksgiving, brother. I'm going to quickly just kind of go through the games today and who I expect to play well, what I expect the betting, what to do. I'm not a massive bettor myself. I play more DFS, so I'll kind of have that spin too. But that'll take about 5-10 minutes while the mailbag's building up, while you guys are getting a chance to get those questions on in. And then the rest of the time, there is some big news today as well that we'll need to cover. So why don't we just start with the Packers at not the Ravens. Ooh, let me correct that. Not Packers at Ravens. It is Packers at Lions today, of course, the Thanksgiving tradition there. And I am going here, Lions. I think they're going to cover this point. I think they're going to smash them. And in DFS-wise, this is one of my favorite games to stack. I do think, the second highest over-under, I think this game does end up getting the most total points here. I do think the Lions get up big, get up early, bleed the clock with their running backs. I don't mind even putting both Montgomery and Gibbs. I know I've seen some questions in the DMs and whatnot. Can I play them both? And we get those questions a lot. This is a great spot, top 10 matchup for running backs. I do see that being the script here, where you can get both Monty and Gibbs in whether it's your DFS lineups or your regular season lineups. I have no problem with that at all. I think it'd be a way to be different from the DFS field today. But I do think the Lions end up getting up big. They win maybe by 10 or so here at home. Huge game from them. But I also don't mind your Packers either. And there's some very intriguing pieces in this game pending the injury news that we're going to talk about just momentarily in terms of Jaden Reed, in terms of Datavius Wicks. Some of those like weird kind of backup fringy wide receivers could end up playing big important roles on this Thanksgiving Day slate. In particular, I really like Jaden Reed should he be in. We know Aaron Jones will not be. Why don't I actually just hit the Thanksgiving news before I hit the games as well? So for Thanksgiving quarterback news, Geno Smith, he is questionable, and it's a true game time decision as of now. We do not have any clarity whether or not he is going to be active yet. That does make everybody here a little riskier, but Drew Lock is one of the better backups in the league here. So I'm not too concerned. He likes to sling it. I think his wide receivers, Lockett, DK Metcalf, if you're playing them, whether Geno's in or not, you're probably still playing them. I don't think it matters much. In fact, maybe him slinging it all over the place isn't the end of the world. That's the only real quarterback note for today. The rest of the QBs are all looking healthy. At running back, though, Ken Walker is out. And I bet a big amount of questions today will be about Zach Charbonnet. Can I play him today against a tough 49ers defense, right? That's the real question mark. Because if it was against a mediocre to even good matchup, it wouldn't even be a question. Charbonnet's a really nice talent. He's got 3-down skill set. Played 85% of the snaps last week with Ken Walker out. He was the focal point of this offense. Didn't end up having humongous numbers, but still, it's 6 catches. That type of involvement. It's tough to turn down that volume ever at running back. So he is in my top 24 running backs, right on the fringe there, because the matchup is tough. He hasn't looked overly efficient, but I did really like the college player. If he gets anything done, it is going to be mostly through the air as a pass catcher, is my guess for Charbonnet. But he's definitely somebody you can consider. I personally am weighing right now. I have Kyren Williams versus Zach Charbonnet. I'm probably leaning Kyren Williams, getting that Arizona matchup. He's practicing in full, looking good. They even sent Darrell Henderson back to the practice squad because of how good they feel about Kyren. So I'm leaning Kyren. Just the matchup is so juicy for him. And I have Eckler and Saquon, so I'm not going to be bumping him above those two. So that's where I kind of sit with Charbonnet. I have him on my bench, but I do think he could absolutely be a viable start for you. So let us know. I got a great DM question about Jalen Waddle versus Charbonnet, right? And given that Waddle gets Miami, one of the worst matchups tomorrow, we'll cover some Black Friday news as well, because I won't be live again until Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So we'll hit real quick the Thanksgiving Day news as well as Black Friday too. So we'll cover some of that. Also at running back, Aaron Jones is out this week. Doesn't mean A.J. Dillon, who get 75% of the snaps and touches last week out of the backfield with no Aaron Jones. He's going to get the work. The question is he actually going to do anything with it? Maybe he plunges that terrible fat ass into the end zone. Maybe. I don't want to count on that. The only way he really gets through there is if he gets 2 touchdowns. He's looked like a slug all year. I have no interest in playing A.J. Dillon at all today. So definitely let me know if you have A.J. Dillon questions. He's my running back, like 33, 34, minus 4 or 5 on the ECR. I just don't enjoy the guy. Could he get 2 touchdowns? Maybe, but the Lions is a very tough run D. You can definitely pass on them much more than run on them. And I just expect them to be playing from behind, and that does not necessarily favor him. They called up some creature named Patrick Taylor as well. So something to just note there. Also at running back, there's a lot of running back notes for today that you got to make sure you stay on top of. Those two are locked in. Ken Walker out and Aaron Jones out, but Antonio Gibson questionable in a true came down decision according to Jeremy Fowler. So that's something you got to monitor, because that obviously Brian Robinson takes a huge step up. He played nearly all the receiving downs this last week, and he actually leads all running backs in fantasy points per target right now. So that is huge if Antonio Gibson, who's routinely caught 5 balls in 3 straight games, we saw what a boost that gave to Brian Robinson. Didn't score a touchdown and still scored over 20 PPR points because of that increase in receiving volume. He's certainly capable. So that's something you got to monitor. If he's in Gibson, I still like Brian Robinson, but he'll go from a top 10 running back play to maybe more so like a top 25. I wouldn't really want him in many lineups, honestly. I'd rather have Charbonnet, for example, than Brian Robinson with Antonio Gibson. And the last running back note of today is Rico Dowdle is expected to play. Doesn't really do much, but again, one of the better handcuffs in the league if you have the bench space to stash him. But I don't think he's a must stash. I'd actually rather stash, and we're looking ahead to our Black Friday notes here, is Devon Achane. He's playing, I'm not going to start him. He's unlikely to play. So Jeff Wilson, you guys know me, Jeff Wilson body pillow. Absolutely in love with Jeff Wilson. So I think he's still out there in 90% of leagues right now. I would go stash Jeff Wilson, given that Mostert's got knee, chest, like all it's crazy that Mostert's honestly even made it this far. He typically always gets hurt. I'm not saying I'm wishing for injury or anything like that. You guys know that, but it's such a juicy backfield, and we've seen Jeff Wilson, as early as last year when he got traded, became the clear lead back ahead of Mostert. With Devon Achane constantly getting in and out of the lineup, there's a real chance we get some starts out of Jeff Wilson at some point this year. So he's one of my favorite handcuffs that's still out there. I'd rather have him than like Rico Dowdle, like I said. Again, so something to stash. And honestly, Jeff Wilson, if you're in a real pinch, like I got Miles Sanders versus Jeff Wilson question, again, no teams on bye. I don't know how we're in such desperate straits, but if that's you, if you're dealing with injuries or just a garbage roster, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Wilson found the end zone tomorrow on Black Friday here. He's done it before. He's randomly had those 2 touchdown pop-ups. The Jets, such a great pass defense, but top 10 matchup for running backs as well. So I'm all about it. I'm ready to go with Jeff Wilson if you're looking for a desperate stream there. In terms of wide receiver notes for today's slate, we got Tyler Lockett. He is off the injury report with his hamstring injury. He's going to play, as is DK Metcalf. Again, the question is just who's thrown to them. Is it Geno Smith or is it going to be Drew Lock? And either way, does it really matter? I think both of them are pretty similar level quarterbacks. They are lucky to have one of the better backup situations in the league. Garrett Wilson upgraded to full practice. He'll be a go. Tim Boyle, though, what do we do? Zach Wilson's been awful. We know that. There's no doubt about it, and it's certainly capped Garrett Wilson's ceiling, but he still is top 6% in target share. He's still top 20 wide receiver on volume pretty much only at this point. But he's getting there. He's been getting there as a mediocre wide receiver too all year. Of course, he could have been a dominant wide receiver. We get that if Aaron Rodgers was here, but sadly not. That's not the world we are living in today. Tim Boyle, is he maybe the worst quarterback in the league? Probably. He might be the only one worse than Zach Wilson. So if you could bench Garrett Wilson, I'd recommend maybe considering it, but I can't in my league where I have him personally. The next option up would be Jackson Smith-Njigba, which I do really like. And I'm honestly, I am considering tossing JSN tonight over Garrett Wilson, but I just don't think I can pull that trigger. We'll see. But I am worried, yes, about Tim Boyle. I guess it can't be worse, though, right? Right? Maybe he's the one guy that is worse than Zach Wilson. We'll find out. Kudos to them. And then, as mentioned, today the Packers, both Dotavian Wicks and Jaden Reed. Much more important is Jaden Reed, but both those guys are questionable. It does seem like Reed, he was a limited participant. He's been kind of active. I really like him today. If you're looking for a desperate wide receiver, Hail Marys type of stream, he got a bunch of carries, 3 carries last week. Ultimately racked up over 70 total yards, a touchdown, actually back in the 79% of the routes as well, which was kind of the issue was, he's looking so good, but he's only playing about 50, 60% of the routes. Not last week. He was right up there behind only Christian Watson in terms of route share. Oh, God, Christian Watson. Don't even want to say that name, throw up on Thanksgiving here. But ultimately, I do like Jaden Reed. If you're looking for a stream, he's also only 4,200 today on DraftKings. He'll be one of the popular plays of the day, assuming he is in, especially if Wicks is out. That does clear some things up. Even again, it makes Christian Watson a little bit more palatable. This is a defense, the Lions, that gives up about top 15 matchup. So it's not like a amazing spot for these wide receivers, but they can get it done. They certainly could. Especially with, I expect that pass happy kind of playing from comeback mode here in that game. And that makes Jordan Love, honestly, not even that horrible, in my opinion. And last note for today's slate is that Luke Musgrave, he is on injured reserve. So that makes Tucker Kraft the starting tight end, probably not in consideration for most of you guys. I know a lot of people lost Mark Andrews, myself included. I'm still not starting Tucker Kraft. I'm going to Isaiah Likely instead. But just in terms of DFS, 2,500, stone cold minimum, will be out there for every route, every snap. You'll see him. He's going to be a very popular play. It's not really sneaky. Oh, man, I'm going to get that sneaky guy. Everyone's going to know Tucker Kraft today, but it gives you the chance to get both CMC and CeeDee Lamb. Maybe even I stacked one lineup with Tucker Kraft and Brock Wright, both $2,500 tight ends. I got St. Brown and those guys in there. So, there's ways to just get creative and mess up. It's a 3-game slate. So those of you that play, if you have DFS questions, Joe, I'll definitely be answering, of course. And I know most of you are here for redraft, so I'm not going to go too hardcore DFS. But if you have game theory or who's the best player, any of those type of questions, definitely let me know. I love talking that stuff. Not that this monster DFS player, but I do enjoy it, and I'd be happy to chat through any type of tournament strategy, any of that stuff if you're looking that way. And then in the defensive notes, Jair Alexander, he is questionable. Certainly gives them a big boost if he is out for the Lions receivers. He's one of the best corners in the league. So St. Brown, he's going to get his anyways, but it would be a significantly better matchup without Jair Alexander. And then Emmanuel Forbes, unlikely. He's actually ruled out, which is honestly probably a bad thing for fantasy people because he's so bad. He gets roasted. It would have been nice to have him trying to shadow CeeDee Lamb like he's been getting dusted so regularly throughout this year as well. So that's some of the big notes and news for today's 3 games, the Black Friday game as well. The only other nuggets that are impacting rankings right now, so I'll just kind of rip through the rest of it. I was going to go in a different order, but we'll get through all the news, so we don't have to interrupt your questions. That's really what you're here for. But Wolfpack, about 15 of you here. I know it's a late, so it's Thanksgiving. I didn't know what to expect. Didn't expect much, but your shares, your likes, your retweets, it really does help us get out to more people. Our last show, we had over 100 live with us. It was amazing. 300 questions in the mailbag, over 1,000 views on it. So that's the type of stuff that really just, it kind of validates what you're doing, and it feels great. I'm not expecting that by any means, but the big reason we got out to those people was you guys were generous with your thumbs up, your shares, your likes, your all that good stuff. So I know Thanksgiving is going to be a whole lot different. I'm not expecting that, but if you don't mind tossing that my way, it would be so helpful to keep us getting out there into new audiences. In terms of the rest of the Sunday notes that you got to track, Derek Carr back at practice. Obviously, we'd rather see Jameis Winston in there. Chris Olave having 20 points and a half with Jameis Winston versus 1 point and a half with Derek Carr. It sucks. Derek Carr sucks. The Bengals will be running their offense as usual in Shea Browning. Yeah, I'm sure. We'll see how that goes. They're going to at least try to, though. And so that's, I guess, a little more encouraging for Jamar Chase, is they're not just going to become this turtle run heavy, just awful. Maybe they're going to be forced to. They're going to at least try to run the offense as usual. And I doubt that Jake Browning will allow that. But hey, at least they're going to, they believe in him. They really think he could be, capable of running the normal scheme. So we'll see. I don't buy it myself. The Rams did designate, and we talked about him a little earlier, Kyren Williams to return, and he is officially practicing in full this week. I have no problem getting him right back. In fact, I love getting him right back in lineups. He was a guy, 20 points in 3 of his 6 games. Really, really just insane type of snaps and volume, better than even Christian McCaffrey type of volume earlier this year. So I really like getting Kyron Williams right back in the lineups, no hesitation, right inside my top 20 running backs, borderline top 15 guy for me, playing him wherever I have him, no doubt about it. Dameon Pierce is back practicing. He was inactive this last couple of weeks. We saw, obviously, Devin Singletary getting so much more burn. And I think this is Devin Singletary's job. You cannot trust Dameon Pierce. There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of, can you trust Devin Singletary with Pierce here? If you don't have to, I wouldn't. The Jags, one of the bottom 10 matchups for running backs, much more of a pass funnel. You can definitely get them through the air, but against the run, they've been very stiff this year. Bottom 5 in terms of rushing yards allowed. And this has not been a great rushing offense, other than, of course, these last 2 weeks with Devin Singletary. And maybe they just decide, let's keep giving him 30 carries. If you see that, while Dameon Pierce is active, great. You can feel good about riding him. His schedule after this Jags game, the Texans schedule is beautiful these next few weeks after this one. So you could definitely, if you see good stuff from Singletary again, go back to the well after this week. But I'd say if you can bench him, again, I'm benching him for Kyron Williams. I'm benching him for Zach Charbonnet, those type of plays today. And then after that, we'll move to wide receiver. Again, there's not many notes other than this. The first one is George Pickens and Jalen Warren. So running back receiver note here. They believe that Mike Sullivan is going to unlock those guys a bit more. The Canadian reign of terror is over. Matt Canada is gone. He's horrendous. I get it, but Kenny Pickett also sucks. So I'm not sitting here expecting either of the – I love Jalen Warren. I think he took over that starting role, and he's the guy now. I love that. But ultimately, I don't think George Pickens is going to be suddenly vaulted to the ceiling because this new play caller. I just think Kenny Pickett sucks. And that's going to be ultimately, again, he hasn't thrown for over 200 yards in 5 weeks now. His one game with multiple touchdowns across his entire career. Tommy DeVito has more. Shout out Ian Hartitz on that stat. There's just no volume here. So I'm minus 10 ECR on Deontay Johnson on George Pickens. Not my guy. No doubt about it. Also, Cooper Kupp still not practicing. Unlikely seems at this point that he's going to be able to go. Puka Nacua right back into the top 6, top 7 wide receivers. Monster. We know how he does when there's Stafford healthy and no Cooper Kupp. It's just a force feeding. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins still not practicing. Doesn't seem likely to play, even with Browning, a quarterback. It's do you really want to even mess with this? Even if he was going to play, probably not, in my opinion. So no T. Higgins. Don't put him in your lineups. No reason for any of that at all. And then Josh Downs, he did return to practice today. So on Wednesday, rather. So he should be in there. It's a good matchup for wide receivers. I like Josh Downs. Remember, he had 14 or more points in 4 straight games before these injuries started really nipping at him. I was a little sketched out by that report that he's been dealing with this knee thing all year. Is he going to just keep flaring up? Is he going to keep getting knocked out? I don't know. But I do see him. He's still out there in about 50% of leagues. At minimum, I think he should be rostered. I do think you could stream him in a pinch, no doubt about it. Noah Brown still not practicing for the Texans. Target share going to Tank Dell again, target hog. We did actually see Nico Collins see 11 targets, 10 for Tank Dell. Both those guys are beasts. Both those guys are starting. Any piece that you have that's attached to CJ Stroud is great. And I still think Noah Brown's worth hanging on to if you have the bench space, if you can manage it. Just because, again, if something happened to Tank Dell, something happens to Nico Collins, and once he gets healthy, we've seen it, 150 yards. Any piece of this offense that's going to have a meaningful role. It's very rare that you have wide receiver handcuffs, but Noah Brown would kind of fit that bill, in my opinion. Michael Wilson not practicing in Wednesday, didn't play last week. We saw Greg Dortch end up leading this team in targets. As a result, I still think Harley Brown is going to come around. The schedule looks so good in the playoffs. If you still have a chance to buy, I don't know if the trade deadline's passed in every single league at this point, but if it's not, again, check out all the content we had on trades at rotorstreetjournal.com. Some of the best stuff we've ever done. Can't hype it up enough. But if he's out, again, desperation, like DFS punt, Greg Dortch, probably going to lead. He's always been Kyler Murray's boy. Rondale Moore did catch that long touchdown as well, but didn't do anything after that. So if you're looking for the safer play, I would go with Dortch. I also upset to see Odell Beckham not practicing. They did say it didn't look bad, this shoulder injury, but just something to monitor. One of my favorite waiver wire pickups of the week with no Mark Andrews. I really think they're going to have to lean on their on Odell Beckham to pick up that slack, and he's really picked it up. 2 of his last 3 games have been top 15 wide receivers. And really just he's talked about how he has his burst back. He finally feels like he's Odell again. And it really shows. You can really see it there with Odell. So he might not practice, but we'll see. I think he'll probably be in there. But just something to note and monitor there. And last up is Jalen Guyton returning to practice. Just another reason to not trust or put Quentin Johnson in your lineup. Shouldn't be even on your roster at this point. I cut him wherever I had him for Jeff Wilson as an example. So, and I cut Chuba Hubbard, honestly, for Jeff Wilson as well in another league, just to kind of give you a measuring stick. Back to Jeff Wilson. Everything leads back to Jeff Wilson, doesn't it? I don't know why. That obsession has taken over me, but I do love Jeff Wilson as a stash right now. And then the last note, similar for the Chargers, is that Gerald Everett, he is back at practice. So Donald Parham, nice tight end stream last week. Tough to trust when you have Gerald Everett in there. And then Young Hui Koo not practicing, just something to note as kickers. They're people too. So we got to watch out for them. All righty, Wolfpack. That wraps up all the news and notes. I am happy to break down, again, betting DFS. It's a weird day, weird slate. Happy to answer any questions that you guys have. My picks for the day. I'll just tell you my picks. I'm not going to break down the games and whatnot. But again, I'm going Lions at home. I'm going to hit the over here, though. I do think that the Packers will play some good catch-up ball, but ultimately lose by 10. I think the Lions win that one. Let's call it 35 to 24, something like that is what I'm picturing there. Commanders at Cowboys. Everybody's always talks about like the sharp plays never betting on the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. It's the most watched game other than the Super Bowl, apparently. And a lot of people just throw money at the Cowboys because they're America's team. I still probably fall in that boat. Like I just want to tell you what the sharps say. I still don't see how the Commander. I mean, Howell has played some good ball. I could see this being closer. I certainly like the over at 48.5 because I could see the Cowboys putting 40 points up themselves. I think Dak and CeeDee Lamb are going to go nuclear. I just want to shout out to Nate Berry. I don't know if you're watching or not. I'm facing him today. So he's got on his team after trades, wheels, and deals. We have an auction league. This is not a 4-man league, all you people on Twitter. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, the appetizer. Then he gets the entree of CeeDee Lamb in this game. And for dessert, he gets to wash that down with Christian McCaffrey. That's my Thanksgiving. How can I enjoy today? I'm just getting battered by 3 great plays. And if they're all in one game, whatever, get it done with, get my torture done. But every single game today, I'm facing the player you don't want to be facing. My favorite holiday of the year. Yay, thanks. It's like torture chamber. Thanks, fantasy football, for ruining Thanksgiving. No, we're joking. I'll win some money on DFS and then make up for the pain that I'm going to be facing all day. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb, Dak, they're going to go bonkers today. Honestly, I had Dak. I want to book Dak at QB1. I'm very tempted. I might do it at this point. It's Washington at home. It's such a bad defense. Most points allowed to quarterbacks right now. He's going to go nuclear. You got Lamar, the Chargers, which looks great as well. Josh Allen against the Eagles, which is a top 5 matchup for quarterbacks. That looks great. But honestly, like Dak, I don't see how he doesn't score 30-something points today. Like he's going to go crazy. So, I mean, let me know if you have Dak questions. I think I'm going to bump into quarterback one as I talk about that more. And then tonight, San Fran at Seahawks. I actually like the Hawks here with the points. Home underdogs rather, with that many points. They're scrappy. They could get the 12th man there, Thanksgiving rallied up, everybody full of booze. I feel like that environment's going to be hostile. It's going to be a fun one. And I think San Fran wins. I'm not going to go as crazy as saying the Seahawks pull the upset, which they could though. If you want to get a little sneaky with a money line there, they could. But ultimately, I think the Seahawks keep it close enough. They don't lose by over a touchdown there. I'd say like a field goal game type of situation. I think that game ends up being a lot tighter than people think. Alrighty, that wraps up my picks for the day. And of course, San Fran giving up the most points to running backs across the last 4 weeks. So again, I get to get bludgeoned by CMC to wrap up my Thanksgiving today. Kana Shaw coming in. Oh yeah, we did have I just saw. Thank you, Campanelli. Sorry, Charlie Menelakis, your patience. I just realized you had a super chat that I ignored. Thank you, Campanelli, for popping up there. And thank you so much, Charlie. So if any of you want to support your boy, super chat, of course, it's so thankful for you just being here. Thank you again so much. It's greatly appreciated. But of course, super chats never hurt. You guys have been so generous throughout the year. It's helping us buy new equipment, upgrade our game. And it's just awesome to be able to keep taking the site to new levels because of your support. So thank you again, Charlie. You're always here. You're the man. Happy Turkey Day to you. Are you up in Portland celebrating, or what do you got going with the fam? Let me know what you got for the deal. I was just in Portland a couple weekends ago. Start Keaton Mitchell or J-Mo Wilson. Oh, so we got an interesting, which one of these Hail Marys should we go after the most? That's a tough one, Charlie. Um, I love that JMO's trending the right way. 66% of routes, career high. You know, catching that long bomb touchdown. Something I'm playing in a lot of DFS today. I like JMO. I really do. Um, yeah, but I feel like Keaton Mitchell. At least you're getting 6 to 10 guaranteed touches, pretty much. Should I call it guaranteed? I don't know. He looks so good every time he touches the ball. It was such a disappointment last week. There's a real risk of JMO running the wrong route or making the wrong play and then just evaporating, not being anything the rest of the game into dust, dissolves. Uh, so I think I'm going Keaton Mitchell here. It's both two Hail Marys. We've seen Keaton hit the Hail Mary better so far this year, and I just like the player. I'm really intrigued by him. To me, that feels like a little bit of a safer floor when you're really just going for a home run touchdown from both. There's a little bit more of a floor to Keaton. But if you're feeling the JMO play today, like I get it. I'm playing him in DFS for a reason. 3,400 today. Like I like it. I stashed him, and I would say that for everybody out there too. It's a good reminder. Like he's still out there in 80% of leagues right now, especially on Yahoo, where you could pick him up, and if he does nothing, you can cut him. Pick him up, see what he does. Maybe he's trending the right way. Maybe he plays 100% of the snaps and throws another killer block and catches another touchdown, and you got yourself a. There's a stretch run heroes every year. There is a world where that's Jameson Williams. Where it's crazy. Like it sounds so crazy to say, but then it sounds so crazy that people don't consider that a possibility, considering how good he was at Alabama. He was by many people the best receiver in a great class. So a big rant for your super chat here. I still go Keaton Mitchell for what it's worth, Charlie, but I love the stash there with Jameson Williams. So yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, for the support. Free way to support your guys. Over 25 of you here now. We're getting there. We're climbing. Good to see. Thumbs up button. Help us get out to more people. Share it out. Retweets, likes, all of it. It does really, truly help us grow Wolfpack. Thank you again so much for spending your Thanksgiving morning here with me. We'll plow through the questions. We got a call in. Our boy, Mr. Campanelli. Let's pull him on in.
Happy Thanksgiving.
How are we doing today, brother?
I'm all right. How are you?
Thank you. You as well.
So
we're doing very well, my man. I love Thanksgiving.
I hope you and Hillary are having a good Thanksgiving today.
Absolutely. We're down in Connecticut. Record. Hopefully not waking up all the in-laws right now. But yeah, that's where the new digs are in the setup here. So yeah, absolutely. How you and yours? I hope you're having a wonderful holiday as well, Cam.
Thanks. I'm in Denny Jennings country.
Oh, the Eagles country. Nice. Shout out Denny.
So
dangerous place.
I have three quick questions. I think I know how you're gonna lean, but we'll just rapid fire through these.
Let's do them.
Purdy or Murray?
Still Purdy, yeah. Still Purdy. He's safer. Still got to ride that. Not a bad matchup tonight. So, yeah, I go Purdy there.
Pollard or Charbonnet? Full PP.
That's a good one. I feel like it's tough to bench Pollard after his best game in so long. And he did actually, like, eyeball test-wise, it looked like a better Pollard last week. He's breaking tackles. It was Carolina. They make a lot of running backs look good. So we got to keep that in mind. But I don't know. It seemed like the right Pollard for the first time in a long time. I love Charbonnet. The matchup is tricky. Commanders is certainly a more generous defense. I'd probably go Pollard there.
And only saying Pollard because I have Kamara and Kyron at RB2 and flex. So Pollard would be like the chopping block there.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. And I'm personally going Kyron over Charbonnet as well. Like I was kind of sifting through that myself, and I decided on Kyron as well. So yeah, I think those three running backs, benching Charbonnet.
Okay.
I mean, hey, if he gets it done against San Fran today, awesome. Like it's great to see. It'd be frustrating to watch it happen on your bench, but to know because he's got a tough schedule. That's the one thing. Like I've loved stashing him all year, but then he gets like San Fran, then Dallas, and San Fran again. Like, oh damn! Then he finally gets his chance, and he gets the worst possible matchups. But hey, maybe we'll find out tonight if he's really matchup proof. I'm excited to see, especially as a receiver, how involved he is. I think he's a great play, but your backs are just too good. I'd probably go Pollard there. Yeah.
Okay, and last one is it's half PPR. Brandon Cooks or Demario Douglas. I had Deontay, but I don't trust Pickett right now.
You have I would have Deontay below both of them.
Yeah, torn between Cooks or Demario.
I'm excited to see maybe there can get a spark there, but I just think Kenny Pickett's so garbage. I think I go Cooks. I think the matchup against the Commanders, it's so ripe. Dak's going to have 30-something fantasy points today, and you got to think at least one bomb is coming in Cook's direction. Of course, CeeDee Lamb is going disembowel me today. But other than that, there's going to be some leftovers for sure. For Brandon Cooks to eat, Ferguson, all those guys are probably going to get theirs today. Doug, if it was full PPR, I'd consider Douglas a little bit more. He's so capped. Like, you're probably going to get 8 to 12, and you're not going to get any more or any less. And that has its place, but I'd rather have the excitement of like a Brandon Cook set. You're full of turkey, you're sitting on the couch, and then boom, you get to leap up and celebrate a big Cooks touchdown.
Yeah. No.
I'm kind of feeling that. That's where I'd lean.
Awesome. Thanks, Wolf. Happy Thanksgiving. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Campanelli. Blast seeing you always. Cheers. And happy Thanksgiving to you. And happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And as he said, please do consider, again, thumbs up, liking this, sharing it, retweeting, all that good stuff. Keep helping us grow. We got 30 a year. We'll keep climbing. We'll keep climbing. That's how it starts small. 28 of you like it, and then suddenly there's 90 people here, and it's amazing. So let's see what we got here. Thank you again so much, and thank you, Charlie, for the super chat earlier. Back to Mr. Kranishaw. I'm sure there's a food question in here. It's Thanksgiving after all. What dish are you looking forward to the most? So I'm kind of basic, but I just love stuffing. Like, I don't get too crafty with this question. I particularly like stuffing when it's a little crispy too. It's always nice, a little extra crisp on it, especially. I'm at my in-laws for the first time for dinner Thanksgiving. So I'm excited. They do like the usual stuff. There's also gonna be pierogies and kielbasa and stuff. So I'm excited to try out some new traditions, some new food today as well. But I guess they make a mean sausage stuffing as well, which I love. I don't know if you've ever had sausage stuffing, but it's so good. So I can't wait for that. I just love all of things. I love to mix it all together too. I'm not one of those ones you got to keep it separate. Like, get it all mashed up and potatoes with the turkey all in one bite. Just go for it. I love it. I love the Thanksgiving dinner. It's people that say it's overrated. I don't get you. I don't like you. Thanksgiving's the best. All right, Krana, what else do we got for you fantasy wise? How do we feed you? What's your favorite too, Krana? Let me know. Herbert or Goff? Pick 2 wide receivers PPR. So Herbert versus Goff. I'm actually going to go Goff there. Both matchups aren't amazing, but the Ravens are really scary, honestly, for quarterbacks. I believe they've only allowed one quarterback to go above 12 points against them, and Herbert probably will. It's such a limiting defense, though, and everybody around him is hurt. Goff seems to be trending the right way. He's at home. They're 24-point implied total for them, or more than that, rather. And anytime he has what the stat is anytime they're implied for 28 or more points, he goes off for 24 or more. Like, it's religious. So I like Goff. I think he's just safer today. Let it rip. Let the home Goff go there. And 2 wide receivers, PPR, Olave, Dell, Addison. I'm going to get my blue light glasses on here because the eyes are going to – you guys can see the blue light here. Protect these eyes. Olave, Flowers, Dell, Addison, London. It's not London. I mean, come on. Dell and Olave is where I'd lean there, Krana. Flowers is an interesting one there, actually, because he does get the most points allowed. The Chargers. You could consider Dell's the lock. We know that. You know me. Come on. It's Tank Dell. Olave versus Flowers, especially if Carr is back, which it's looking like it's going to be. That's interesting. That's a really interesting question right there. I know I'll see you on Sunday, so we can really figure that one out more once we have a little more clarity on the quarterback situation. I really don't hate going Flowers. No Andrews. He's going to be a target hog and one of the best matchups you can ask for. Yeah. I think my gut right now is saying Dell and Flowers, honestly, over Olave. White or Warren at running back 2 this week. I'm going Rashad White. 4 straight weeks now, top 12 PPR numbers. Warren is awesome though too. Krana, you're bringing the heat today. These are some tough questions. I want to again check my rankings because as you guys ask these, I like to update them because I answer them with how I'm feeling, and if I want to make sure my rankings reflect that. It's so tough to bench Jalen Warren this week, as good as Rashad White has been. So as mentioned, I'm bumping Dak up. I don't know if I can go above Hurts and Josh Allen. He's getting bumped up. I'm looking at my running backs now. They're like, where do I want to move? Where do I want to move Jalen Warren to? Because I really don't want to bench him. The other question, down Charbonnet or Gus? Another really tough one. Gus versus – it comes down to Gus versus Charbonnet for me in that one. I have a hard time benching Gus right now. How many times the leader in touchdowns in the NFL, and it's not a fluke, and they just get down to the red zone and pound it with him, and he's so damn efficient at it. I can't bench Gus. In terms of White versus Warren, I do have White a few spots above Warren. Indy's a great matchup for him. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Rashad White. He's just been so good, even in non-great matchups right now. Cincinnati's not a bad matchup for Warren either. He's so explosive. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Rashad White there. Warren does have the higher ceiling, but White's just been too good. Finally, Murray or Lawrence. My defense is Detroit Lions. Yeah, I like the Lions today. I could see them giving up points, but still getting a pick six at home, bunch of sacks, that type of stuff. So I like them. There are other options out there. This is actually a pretty good week for defensive streamers. You can check the channel out, Chron. I have a whole video on defensive streamers, so I go in a little bit more depth on that. But the Saints are out there in a lot of leagues getting Desmond Ridder. I'm a big fan of that matchup. I also like – hold on, did I X out? No, yeah, I do like the Lions more than the Saints, though. I mean, the Dolphins are still out there in a bunch of leagues getting Tim Boyle. The Lions are my number 7 defense. So a lot of the other streamers I have, the Giants, the Broncos, the Pats, I have them below the Lions today. I do like playing the Lions a lot today. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Indeed, like and subscribe. We had 30 new people sub after that awesome, again, Sunday show. So nice to see this growth. So great and gratifying. And so grateful for all of you. Whether you're new here and you want to sub, awesome. A lot of repeats, which I love to see. But thumbs up. It really does help us continue to grow. 30, it's continue to grow here. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Let's go. Tien win. Let's see what we got for you. Stevenson or Singletary, and happy Turkey Day. Happy Turkey Day to you as well. With Dameon Pierce back, it would have been Singletary, no brainer. Let it rip. With Singletary, now contending with probably Pierce. I have Ramondre below him, and I don't like that. Ramondre's coming off a couple of his most productive days. The Giants are a top 6 matchup for running backs too. I'm going to go Ramondre, and I'm going to adjust my rankings. I do have Charbonnet 1 spot above Ramondre, but I'm bumping Ramondre up a few spots here. So I'd go Stevenson over Singletary this week. Hey, Campanelle, yes, indeed. Who else is giving up the holiday to help us degenerates? Yes. Degenerate with the folks. You got to be one to know one. Indeed, but no, I'm happy to. It's a good little morning tradition here to get the juices going here on Thanksgiving. What's up, Giuseppe? Let's get these dubs. Indeed. Do I go Geno or Russ, and do I go Kittle or Laporta? Ooh, tough one. I'm gonna go Kittle over Laporta. I saw a stat about how when both running backs are healthy, Laporta's targets go from 10 a game to 6 or 5. And it makes sense. They just bleed teams out with the running backs, right? So I go Laporta there. I mean, I go Kittle over Laporta there, rather. Geno or Russ is trickier because if Geno was fully healthy, I'd probably just say Geno. We'll fire it up. Don't think twice. But what if he re-injures something? What if it flares up and he's out? That does create a little bit of risk with Geno this week. Let me just see. Yeah, I probably just avoid that risk. I mean, Russell gets Cleveland, though. Is Baker out there? Is Jordan Love? I'd honestly play over either of these guys. Maybe even Minshew, but I'd probably go with Russ if no other options are present. But I'd say Minshew, Baker, Jordan Love, and Minshew are all streamers I'd rather have above either of these guys. Giuseppe. But if it's only those two, then yeah, I'd go Russ rather, because of the risk of the re-injury there. Pick 2 running backs, 1 flex. Josh Jacobs, Kyron, Singletary, or Tank Dell. We're benching Singletary there, and then we're playing Tank Dell. Is how we're playing that one, Giuseppe. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Preble. Hope you're having a great day as well. Giuseppe Russo, pick 3. Monty, Gibbs, White, Charbonnet, Mixon, Singletary, and Mitchell. I'm going to go the first 3. Monty, Gibbs, I'll get them both in there as I talked about the kickoff of the show. And then White versus Charbonnet is tricky. Mixon being in there, it certainly makes it tougher. But I like White a lot. Indy's a great matchup. He has just been absolutely cooking. I'm going to check this out real quick. What his running back finishes have been over the last 5 weeks. I know it's really, really impressive. And this is the best matchup he's had in a long time. So Rashad White. And I'm going to go PPR. 16, 18, 28, 18, 18 has been a top 13 running back for 5 straight weeks. You can't argue with it. And again, most of it's receiving. I get that. But yeah, I'm certainly playing him in a great matchup. There's no doubt about it. Um, Alrighty. Demario Douglas or Sutton for Giuseppe Russo. I'm going Sutton. I've always been a big Sutton fan. I am. So I like Sutton there. I do. Touchdown machine. It seems to just always come through for you. So higher ceiling, similar floor, lower floor than Douglas, but I'd rather have Sutton in there. Pitts, Fryer, Booth are likely for Giuseppe Russo. I don't like any of them, but I like likely. I'm going likely myself over Fryermuth, Giuseppe. So let's ride that together, baby. Let's go. Mr. Jason, cheers, man. We wish you could be here with me, but I know you got the work over there. But he's going to give you a gift, anytime TV parlay. Montgomery, Jaden Reed, CD Metcalf, and C. Wow, I actually really like that. Plus 5,200. CJ, toss that in for me too. Let me tail that one with you. I love that, honestly. That's a great bet. I would encourage anybody to tail that. Thank you, old bald one. I love it. We have the best fans. Jacoby Myers or Roshan, half PPR. That's not a good spot at all. Jeez. Not Roshan. I mean, he's maybe the running back 3. Probably running back 4 when you factor in Justin Fields ahead of him now, too. I don't like Myers, but at least you have some sort of upside. It'd be one thing if Roshan was like running back 3, but getting goal line work like Foreman, where you could maybe like say, okay, he might plunge his ass in the end zone, but nah, that's not happening. So I go Myers there. He's not good with Aiden O'Connell. I don't like that play. I wish we could find something else for you, Giuseppe. Maybe let me know what is out there in the waivers if there's any streamers. I don't know that I'd go Jeff Wilson over Myers, but I'd consider it, honestly. Happy Thanksgiving, Mike Clay. Thank you, my man. Like and share and subscribe. Best in the biz. Hey, thank you, Giuseppe. Much appreciated. Indeed, guys, please do consider that. If you enjoy what you're hearing, it really does. The thumbs up, and obviously having new people join us is so appreciated. The Curlo. Thank you so much, man. What a nice note. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing, taking the time. It's very rare that we often hear of our misses, so it's very nice. Not here really. You guys are all the best, but fantasy analysts in general just constantly get lampooned for getting things wrong, which we always do. Everybody gets it wrong. It's a tough game, so it's really nice to get. God bless you greatly, brother, and hope your Thanksgiving is a nice one. Thank you so much, Carrillo, and same to you, yours. Thank you so much for taking the time you did. You didn't have to do that. You decided to show up and send a really nice note. That means a lot. Thank you. Very, very kind of you. Dynasty, half PPR, Giuseppe Russo. Back to the fantasy football. But thank you again, Nicole. That's really kind. Let me get a quick sip of water here. Would you drop Mims or Roshan? No, not in a dynasty. A dynasty, you just got to let those are two interesting prospects. Now, you can't drop Pitts either. Too good of a prospect as well. I think you could drop likely, honestly, in dynasty. But only if you would. Hey, I get this. I mentioned Jeff that this is where this question led to here. I'd really consider it, especially if Achane is out. We know Sullivan Ahmed is on the IR too. I would go Jeff Wilson over Myers if you picked him up, and I'd probably drop likely if I was going to. CJ Stroud or Brock Purdy for Frosty? I go Stroud. I'm not benching Stroud really for anybody at this point, other than I mean, I shouldn't say that. If you have like Jalen Hurts, okay, yeah, I would do that. But yeah, I like Stroud there over Purdy. He's my QB6 this week, and a good matchup against Jacksonville, pass funnel defense. And Chiefs or 49ers. I'm gonna go 49ers there. I like the Chiefs, but that's a close one because the Raiders. That's a good matchup for the Chiefs. I stick with the 49ers, though. I'm a little bit higher than ECR on the Niners, especially if they get to Geno. You turn him over early. Maybe you get a little Drew Lock action, too. If Drew Lock's playing, it's a lock. You go Niners because even though he likes to sling it, that means a lot of turnovers. But it's a close one. That's a good one, Frosty. But, yeah, I'm going Stroud, and I'm going Niners for that one. Happy Thanksgiving to you, DJ. You go down to the game today, the Bev Salem game. Watch the Panthers get smashed. Salem's actually legit this year. But happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, man. Giuseppe Russo, happy coming from both angles. Happy Turkey Day to everybody. Indeed. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Joe. Thank you guys so much. Dan Lignos, trade McBride and Charbonnet for Puka and Judy. You have Kelsey. I think I might do this. You're really upgrading the other team, though. I love Puka. I do. Judy means nothing to me. If you could get a different piece other than Judy that intrigues me a little bit more, I'd say it's a no-brainer. Because I love Puka, especially with, who knows what's going to happen with Cooper Kupp down the stretch here. And you have Kelsey, so you don't need McBride unless you're flexing him. I mean, I love McBride too. McBride and Charbonnet are two of my favorite pieces. But yeah, I would probably do this, Dan. I would just see, could you get something other than Judy? Tough decision at defense for our guy DJ. KC, Miami, or Pitt. That is a tough decision. I think I'm going Pittsburgh. Jake Browning, what the hell is that? Maybe he is this next coming of Joe Burrow. They say they're going to unlock the entire offense for him. We'll see. I'm riding Pittsburgh myself. Tim Boyle, though, that's also very enticing for Miami on Black Friday tomorrow. That's my 4 and 5 right there. Actually, my 4, 5, and 6. Steelers, Dolphins, and Chiefs. I'm looking at it right now. Literally 4, 5, 6 in that exact order, DJ. I do have Pittsburgh the highest, and that's who I'm rolling, so I think we ride that. Yeah, new background, Mr. Trace Sarasingo, 305 Pitbull here in the house. New background, D. I'm at the in-laws. They actually let me fire it up over here. They're very kind. Hopefully, I'm not waking them all up here in the side room. But excited to celebrate some new Thanksgiving traditions here. Mr. Trace Sarasingo, we got Nico Collins or King Henry. I'm going King. Carolina is such a bad run D, and it's so sad that it's become to the point that the King is definitely a game flow, game script dependent type of guy. This is one of the scripts that you can go for. I have him as a top 6 running back. I think this is a 200, where he goes for like 150, 2 touchdown, like one of those monsters. If he doesn't do it this week, then we really panic. But similar like Tony Pollard last week, Carolina is just too juicy. So we go with that. Made a crazy trade, sent Brace Hall for it's crazy, and honestly, it's not bad, Charlie, especially if you needed that depth. Like if Jalen Warren and Nico are both stars for you, and honestly, they probably are. I don't hate that deal at all, especially if Tim Boyle, what's that going to look like? This Jets team is hideous. So, Charlie, I don't mind that deal at all. Charbonnet or Madison, PPR, thank you for Joe Saviano. I go Charbonnet there, absolutely. I know Madison's actually been pretty impressive, but Chandler continues to chip away at his work. So there's going to be a week where Madison just gets benched. I like Charbonnet. You get all the volume today. Tough matchup. I get it, but I'd rather go with the workhorse than the committee guy. That's not even that good, Dunes needs a wide receiver 3 and a flex, full PPR. Addison, Ford, Dobbs, Judy, Higgins, Shakir. I don't think Higgins is playing, so we can kind of eliminate that. I would go. I'm going to get Ford and then flex. I like him above all these receivers. I'd probably just side with talent here and go Addison. So I'm going to go Addison and Ford there. I like Shakir. He's actually the next. And Dobbs today, especially as we get news on their wide receivers here. Who's going to be healthy between Wicks and Jaden Reed. I could see that getting trickier. But I'm going to go Ford and Addison are my gut reaction for now, Tunes. But if all those receivers are out for Green Bay, text me. We can really consider that for sure. We do have a super chat. Thank you so much, RJ. Really, really greatly appreciate it. If you want to cut the line like RJ is, consider also tossing your boy a nice little Thanksgiving gift. But not expected, not necessary by any means. We'll continue to mow through the mailbag. But if you want to cut the line, by all means. Free way to support your guy, though. We'll get into that after. RJ McCunny, Charb or Christian Kirk. I'm going to Charbonnet there. I love Kirk too. Let me know, RJ, is this PPR half? Remind me your scoring settings here. Because full PPR gets a little bit trickier. But with Zay Jones back, this offense kind of shifted, and he drew some coverage, and then Calvin Ridley was running more wide open. It's full PPR. That certainly does make it tougher. There's no doubt about that. But that also could benefit Charbonnet with those little dink and dunks. 6 catches last week, didn't do a lot with it. And that's what I worry about with Charbonnet. The matchup, is he really going to be all that efficient? I don't know. Kirk has been a rock star since week 1, 22, 15, 16, 14, 14, 19, 9, 14, 8. So even last week with like kind of a dud by his standards, he still got there. Like he didn't murder you. You know what I mean? I probably just as exciting and sexy as Charbonnet feels tonight, I'd probably go Christian Kirk. It's tricky. I really do. I'm very intrigued to see what Charbonnet does. If it wasn't against San Fran, I'd probably feel a little bit better. He's got 10 and 13 his last couple of games. Oh, you got me in a pretzel, RJ. I'm gonna go Kirk though. I lean Kirk on that one for sure. Thank you so much for the support, RJ. Much appreciated. Back-to-back weeks with super chats too. These things aren't they go noticed for sure. We really do appreciate it. Charbonnet or Ridley. Ooh. So now the lesser of the Jags receivers in a competition with Charbonnet here from Sea Dog. Ooh, I think this is where I would go Charbonnet. I know it's Ridley coming up. Is he going to be like Gabe Davis, fancy Gabe Davis? I think that's what I compared him to. Like, no one plays him, and he goes for 30. Then you finally trust him again, and he's going to kick you right in the sack. I lean going Charbonnet here. I'd rather, whereas Kirk, you have that reliable floor. So, like, even if Kirk doesn't outscore Charbonnet, you're probably still getting 12 to 15, in PPR leagues. Really, if he doesn't hit, he gets you 2. He can ruin your week. So I'd rather just have like the guaranteed, you're going to get about 15 to 20 touches, 80% of snaps of Charbonnet. I'm probably going to lean for that one is where I would go, Sea-Dog. Thank you again so much for the support. But yeah, I'm leaning Charbonnet for that one. Lewis Ranchod. Hey, man, would you go Dobbs or Rice this week? Full PPR. I'm going to go Dobbs over Rice. I want to make sure my rankings reflect that. This is especially true. I really like Jaden Reed as well. Dobbs over Rice. Yeah, I'm going to make sure. I have Rice too high. I was very hopeful after the bye week he'd come, out scorching, way more routes, and then Justin Watson 11 targets. Like, are you kidding me? Nobody catches the ball on this team, and they're still not giving him a full-time role. So I'm bumping Rice down, actually. I appreciate you kind of calling my attention to this. Yeah, I'm bumping Rice down. Even below Brandon Cooks, I'd rather have Dobbs today. I'm bumping Dobbs up too. I mean, this guy, he's top 3, I think, in touchdowns. I know he's top 2 in end zone targets. So steady, so consistent. And in particular, especially if Jaden Reed is out, it looks like Jaden Reed is trending towards in. I like Jaden Reed a lot, though. I'm bumping him even above Rashee Rice. Big fan of him today. But yeah, I go Dobbs over Rice this week. I can't trust Rice until I see him get a full-time role here, No thanks. All right, that wraps up our super chats for now. Thank you again so much for your generosity, guys. If you want to cut the line, please do consider tossing us another super chat. It really goes a long way and is so greatly appreciated. But a free way to help your boy out is that thumbs up. We got 45. Here we go. We keep and that snowball. Hey, you started with 10 this morning, and an hour in, we got 43 of you. You'd love to see it. Thank you guys so much. More and more thumbs up. It really does keep helping us get out to more people. I see a lot of new names there in the comments as well. Please do consider subscribing. Would love to have you along here as we answer your questions 4 times a week, trying to get those lineups perfect. Again, 30 new subs after last show. We had 1,000 views, 100 people live with us. It was awesome. It was so amazing. And to have almost 50 of you here with us on Thanksgiving, I didn't know we'd get anybody. So really, really appreciate it, Wolfpack. Thank you again for being here. We left off at who's your Devo? Should I trade away Saquon and Pittman to get Amon-Ra? Ooh, that's a good trade. Both sides are awesome with that. Now, I would say this. I'm guessing if you're asking it, you have the depth, Devo, that it's not going to ruin you to give up both these guys. You're giving up 2 really good players, but especially if you are in the playoffs already, Saquon's playoff schedule is awful. I know they looked better against the Commanders, and Tommy DeVito was slinging the rock everywhere. That's the Commanders. That's why Dak's going to go for 500 points today. This is tough. You'd have to have good depth because Pittman's got a great schedule down the stretch. He's an absolute stud. All that to say, though, of course, if you can pull off that depth, I feel like you might be able to get another piece in there, though, because this is a pretty lopsided trade in that it probably does favor the you're getting 2 really, really good pieces. A low-end running back 1, probably a low-end receiver 1 in Pittman to get an elite wide receiver 1. So if you have the depth, yeah, I'm always in favor of trading two pieces to upgrade, especially with Saquon's playoff schedule. I like the idea of moving Saquon while his value is at its peak right now. I think you're very smart to be thinking that, Hoosier. This is a big trade though. That's a lot. You're giving up a lot with Pittman and Saquon. So I would see if you can maybe get another piece added, or um, that's tough. But yeah, I think I do it. Nicola, who do you start for wide receivers? Pick two: Debo, Rashid, DeAndre, or any Packers receivers. I would go Debo and D Hop. She would say none of the Packers receivers. I'd go Debo and D Hop over any of the Packers. But I do really like Jaden Reed today, and Dobbs. I don't think those guys are unstartable by any means. Pick three running backs. We're benching one: Kyron, Montgomery, Gus Bus, or Mixon. I I definitely don't want to bench Kyron. I'm certainly playing Montgomery today. There's no doubt about that. So it comes down to the Bus or Mixon. I think I'm leaning the Bus. Again, another one of these ones where I got to make sure my rankings reflect what I'm saying, and they do. I have Gus below Mixon though, so I'm bumping Mixon down here. Um, I'm worried. I'm worried about the Bengals. Like, what is that going to look like with Jake Browning? I don't know. Um, love Kyron's matchup. Love Montgomery today. Love that matchup. And yeah, I can't bench the Bus. The amount of touchdowns this man is scoring is just ridiculous. So yeah, give me the Gus Bus. Tomas from Panama. Great to see you, man. Have Feliz Thanksgiving. I love you, man. Thank you for that. The best for you and your fam. Same to you, Tomas. Hope you have a great day as well. Who to drop to take Kyron out of IR? Hunt, Chandler, or Tajay? I don't want to drop any of these guys. I guess I would probably drop Hunt though. If you're not using him at this point, when are you going to use him, right? Tajay just got too much upside with that schedule, with Derrick Henry's age and injury history. So I'm gonna drop. I'm intrigued by Chandler. Yeah, I think I dropped Kareem Hunt. Appreciate it as always, Wolf. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up and the bell. Indeed, guys, smash that thumbs up button, smash the bell, so you know when we're live and you sub here. Absolutely. Thank you, Charlie, for reminding the folks. Do your job. All righty. Praise the Lord. Indeed, Nabeen. Where are you from? I'm from the North Shore of Massachusetts, called Beverly. Right now, I'm in Connecticut visiting the in-laws for Thanksgiving. But I'm originally from Beverly, Massachusetts. LA, PPR, ETN, Gibbs, Hall, Kyron, sit one. Whew. You got some good options here, man. I would probably sit Kyron. I don't know though. Arizona, absolute smash spot. I'm bumping Kyron up the more I think about it. I guess he's the riskiest here. Brees with Tim Boyle at quarterback, though. I might bench Brees Hall here. I'm going to adjust the rankings. I like Kyron enough. I've had him all year, and I love the guy. If you have him, LA, how good he is, right? I'm certainly not benching Gibbs today. He's my running back 4. ET is my running back 2. Those guys are the locks. It comes down to Kyron versus Brees. I'm going to go Kyron over Brees, and I'm going to bench Brees Hall. Wow, can't believe that's actually happening. 8-team, 6-point PPR. I need a flex here. I have Garrett Wilson, James Cook, Nico Collins, or Jaden Reed. I would go 6-point PPR. I need Nico Collins here, especially if Noah Brown is out. Get that nice target share. Keep riding the CJ Stroud wave. I would go Dave Charbonnet over James Cook. And happy Thanksgiving to you too. JNF, small chili. Need 3 running backs out of these. Full PPR. Brees Hall, Kyron Williams, Brian Robinson, Monty, Singletary, or Charbonnet. I would go Monty is my favorite. I would go Kyron, and then I would go. I wish we knew if what's his name, Gibson, was playing or not. Still no nuggets on that, right? So if we get news, and you'll be able to adjust this because Brees Hall doesn't play till tomorrow. If Gibson's out, I would go Brian Robinson over Brees Hall, and I'll adjust my rankings to show that later today if Gibson's officially ruled out. if he's in, and let me just make sure, do I have Gibson even in my rankings? So I'm going to add Gibson to my rankings because he has been like a weirdly very good Thanksgiving Day guy. It makes no sense, but he always has like 2 touchdowns on Thanksgiving. If he's in, Brian Robinson takes a bit of a hit. So I would go Monty, Kyron Williams are my favorites here. And then Brees Hall, most likely over Brian Robinson. As much as I like Charbonnet, I think he's a little bit further away. And then with Dameon Pierce coming back in a tough matchup for Singletary, I don't love that one. Standard, Nico, DK, or D-Hop. I'm going to go DK there, LA. Feels like he's due for a big game. Caught that touchdown. Yeah, I think he's going to keep rolling. Derrick Henry or James Conner. I'm going Derrick Henry there. Love the matchup spot there. Carolina. I think we have a King Henry reemergence this week. Nicola. I have Justin Jefferson, but I think it's too risky. Put him in the lineup because it seems like they are going to wait out. Yeah, I could see that too. I imagine they do wait it out. They get the bye. I wouldn't play Justin Jefferson. No, I guess it depends on who it is, but you're considering him over. But yeah, unless we get full, if he's in, of course you play him. But unless we get that announcement, I don't think he's going to play. All right, Ivy with a super chat, but no question. Oh, it looks like Campanelli dug your question up, Ivy3. And it is Black Friday QB Tua or Kyler. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Ivy. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. That's a tricky one because Tua does get the Jets, and that's a defense we typically avoid. I get the feeling the Jets defense is also kind of given up on this team. So after giving up 30 total points to the Bills last week, they just looked dead in the water. So I don't think this is as scary of a matchup. So I still really like Kyler this week, though. I think I'm going to go Kyler. And just in case that the Jets do get fired back up again, Black Friday, like Tua just hasn't been all that amazing. And Kyler's weirdly like, was he got like 20 points in back-to-back weeks, even though he hasn't been having great games here? 18 and 23, yeah, with one combined passing. I'd like Kyler. He's kind of cooking right now. I can't. I'm looking at it. I actually kind of like Kyler. I know I said Purdy earlier. I kind of like Kyler. The more and more I'm thinking of it. I know. Give me the eyebrows. Yes. The 49ers secondary. I mean, the Seattle secondary is good though. Like they get inflated because of their early schedule when they didn't have Tariq Woolen or Witherspoon together for the first 5 weeks of the season, and they were getting bombed. But when those two have been out there, they are a very formidable secondary. Now you got him in there as well. So yeah, I'm going to go Kyler over Purdy too, and I'm going Kyler over Tua. So yeah, throwing things around, changing it up on a Thanksgiving here, but I like Kyler. I do. He's been really, really steady. So there. Who's your Devo? Thank you so much for a very, very generous super chat here. $10. Wow, thank you so much, man. Very, very thankful for that. I'm 4-7. Goff, Murray, Barkley, JT, Connor, Dev Singh, Chandler. So we're getting the full roster here. Chandler, you gave us a super chat, so we'll work through this whole thing for you, my man. Wilson, Pittman, AJ, D-Hop. How are you 4-7? You got a good team, man. I'm surprised this is a 4-7 squad here, Laporta. I've sent the Bark Pit offer for Amon and also for C. So I would go after CeeDee Lamb. If you could, I would say that deal is worth it for CeeDee Lamb. His schedule is great down the stretch. He's just cooking at a different level. I do like Amon too, but yeah, you're 4-7 though, so it's not like you're this lock to make the playoffs. You do have good depth, but then your running backs, I mean, they take a pretty big hit. Like, you got okay options here, but Connor and JT is solid, but I don't know. I don't know that I love this deal for Amon. I think I do it for CD. I don't know that I do it for Amon Ra. Your depth just isn't. I mean, this you got me in a blender here, Hoosier. AJ and then CeeDee Lamb would look. If you can get it for CeeDee Lamb, I would say do it. I don't know that I do it for Amon Ra though. I don't think I do, especially if you already have Laporta. You're stacking Goff. Like that does also make sense too. No, it's very appreciated to add this insight. Like it makes it make even more sense. This is tough because Barkley's schedule the next couple weeks is actually okay, and you need wins. And so I think you're in win now mode. I don't know that you can give up Barkley and Pittman. Both these guys have really good matchups for the next couple weeks here. Not that the Pats is an amazing matchup, but it's not a horrible one. And then it gets the Packers, and then it gets really ugly. Then they get the bye and 3 horrible games. But you might need Saquon to carry you into the playoffs here. But if you can do that for CeeDee Lamb, I would do it. I think I still do it for Amon, but just because you have the Goff, like now you have the stack, and that's kind of nice. I think I am going to pull that trigger. I'd like to do it for CD more though. All right. Thank you for the added comments. And thank you again so much for the generous super chat. $10 Hoosier. Much appreciated there. Sounds like you're in a blender with that one as well. I thought I saw Giuseppe Russo pop up, but maybe not. Maybe my eyes deceive me. Thought we had a call in for him. Come on back over, Giuseppe, if you wanted to. But maybe not. All righty. So we were left off at Dave Charbonnet. We were there. Nico, James Carr. Okay. Nicola, I saw your questions. I think we were right here. Oh no, we're at Tomas Medina. Right here. All right. Also lost Andrews, then lost Musgrave. Is likely already gone there, Tomas. That's who I would go after for sure. But if he's gone, it is ugly indeed. Maybe Mayer, Michael Mayer, I would probably go after. We do have the schedule there for Conklin, looking kind of ripe, but I have no clue what this creature named Tim Boyle is going to be. So I would probably go Mayer, who's got back-to-back 5-target games there. That's kind of where I'm leaning. We did cover Mark Andrews' replacement plans on the YouTube as well. So if you want to hear all the other options I went through, definitely go check out that clip there. But yeah, that's where I'm leaning. And then we do got Giuseppe back. What's up, Mr. Russo? How are we, sir?
How we doing, Wolf? Good to see you, my man.
Good to see you too. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Thank you.
So I'm in a dilemma. I don't know if with this Kittle and Laporte, I got both on the same team. I'm struggling, need a QB. Do I send Kittle for Stroud straight up? The guy who I'm trading him to, it's all just one game difference for first place, and I'm going against him this week.
Ooh, so you just get punished by Kittle today for trading him away. Is what you're getting at.
So I don't know. Should I send the trade over or just stick with what I got and just?
Is this the one where you have like Geno versus who's your quarterback?
Russ? Yeah,
I would do it. Yeah, you're taking your clear weakest position, a position of strength for your tight end. That's a dilemma you asked us every single week. Understandably so. Laporte versus Kittle. It's one or the other every week. Yeah, because as much as you're helping him out, like you're getting Stroud instead of Geno today. That's a big upgrade. That's a huge upgrade. He's my quarterback 6 versus my quarterback 20 this week. I think you're honestly upgrading your lineup more than he is.
Yeah.
Kittle obviously is a scary one too, because he very much to prime time night. This is when he goes off. You're probably going to be getting a slapping from Kittle tonight. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
But I think you can good and bear that, and then ultimately have Stroud the rest of the way. I like that. I mean, Stroud's the man. I'm honestly surprised he's going to give up Stroud.
And I have Tank Dell in that league too, so it would be a stack.
Even better, stack those babies up. Yeah. I love that. I would know. Is that actually on the table? You could hit accept right now?
Well, he sent over George Pickens and Stroud for Tank Dell and Kittle. I'm going to decline that and just send it straight up. See if he accepts.
Yeah. Good luck. I think you definitely do that if he would. And even if you can do Kittle in a bench piece to push it over the edge after, if he comes back at you.
Maybe Daddy Davis.
Yeah, good riddance. Purge yourself of him.
Exactly. And one more, Wolf, before I go. You said to go White over Charbonnet?
Yeah, Indianapolis, great matchup. White's, a top 13 running back for 5 straight weeks now. He's steady. He's consistent. Charbonnet, really intriguing tonight. I get it, but ride the guy that's been doing it. If Charbonnet did what White's doing for 5 straight weeks, you'd be happy. Yeah. So why not just do the guy that's been doing it and he gets a great matchup? You know what I mean? So yeah, I go with White there for sure.
Thanks, Wolf. As always, you're the best.
You're the man, too, Giuseppe. Cheers. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Awesome. Any more call-ins too? That line is open. You're welcome to cut the line with a call-in, folks. Let me just make sure I get this pulled up here. All righty. But back to your questions here. So we left off with Tomas. So we are at JNF Small Chili again. Should I trade Brian Robinson for Devonta Smith? Trade questions are always tricky because you don't know the team and whatnot. But if you have running backs as a strength, yeah, I think so. No Goddard. We're seeing Smith's target share go up and up and up. I love Robinson. He's a monster. So you'd have to have really good running back depth. In a vacuum, I honestly probably do prefer Brian Robinson over Smith the rest of the season. But I'm guessing you're asking because this would upgrade your maybe your running backs are a strength, but receivers are a weakness. These two are neck and neck. It's a very fair deal if this is going to improve your team and your starters. If you trade away Robinson, but you have a nice running back coming off the bench versus your wide receiver 3 is horrible right now and Smith's going to be a huge upgrade. Yeah, of course. So it depends on the context a little bit there, JNF. I slightly prefer Robinson to Smith in a vacuum, but again, they are so neck and neck that if this is it for your team makes a lot of sense, then yes, it's definitely a doable deal. Nicola, pick 2 receivers. Downs, Rashee Rice, Debo, Hopkins. Nervous about Hopkins this week. It's easy to be nervous about all these guys. I would go Debo and Hopkins myself. I can get why you're nervous. So if you didn't want to play Hopkins, I would probably play Josh Downs. The Green Bay guys are risky as well. I do like them today. Someone's going to go off playing comeback mode against the Lions. It is tricky to know which one it is. So yeah, I'd probably go Debo Hopkins. But if you wanted to bench Hopkins, I'd go Downs is my next one up. ID3, you super chat us that one already. Just a reminder, I said Kyler over Tua. Giuseppe Husso again. Pick 2 dynasty superflex. Mahomes, Fields, Murray, Howell. You got to play Mahomes. And then I think I go Murray over Fields. That's a nice dynasty squad, though, to have all 4 like young, exciting quarterbacks like that. Damn. Peter Santiago. Start Tank Dell. You should see what you can move around there, Giuseppe. Like, can you get first-round pick for one of those guys? Like, this is a good draft class, too. So maybe if it's a QB-needy team, you could make some moves there. Start Tank Dell over Chase for wide receiver 3? Yes. And should I start – I would do Tank Dell, yes. And should I start Taylor at flex over Chase? I think so. Just what is this Browning situation going to look like? It would be very nice if Browning is not bad and he sustains Jamar Chase. That would be awesome, but we can't expect that. So when you have 2 great options like Tank Dell and Taylor, yeah, I would go both those guys over him. Another super chat coming in hot. Thank you so much, Ryan Hemmings, for your support from across the pond. And just saying thank you, too. If you got a question, Ryan, please do let me know. But, man, that is so appreciated. Just tossing some money at us to say thank you on the day of thankfulness. You're the man. Thank you so much, Ryan. That's so appreciated. Thank you for always being here. I as much as you guys appreciate me, I appreciate you times 10 because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for fans like you guys coming in, supporting you, boy. Thank you so much, Ryan. Please do let us know if a question. Mr. Campanelli will be on the lookout for it if you do. But thank you, Ryan. That's so kind and generous of you to just pop in and toss us a super chat like that. Thank you, brother. All right, we were at Nico Alessandro. Charbonnet or Devonta Smith, half PPR. That's a really good one. I lean. It's half PPR too. Because if it's full PPR, that would kind of be that deciding factor of pushing Devonta over the edge. But now that it's half, I wish this matchup was better for Charbonnet. And I could just like bang the table and be pumped about it. And Buffalo's not a great spot for Devonta, but man, he's really started to cook, right? Like 23. So that's full PPR. So you're half. Let me go to just half PPR. What he's been doing 19, 13, and 13, though. Top 20 wide receiver, 3 straight weeks. And not uncoincidentally, with no Dallas Goddard in the lineup, shootout game. You have the Eagles versus Buffalo, 4 p.m. Like, yeah, I'm going Devonta Smith there, Nico. It's a good question. Very, very close there. But yeah, I would go Nico. I mean, I'm Devonta rather. Sorry, Devonta for you, Nico. Thank you. Again, Ryan, for that super chat. By the way, if you do have a question, I was trying to scan through real quick. I didn't see anything. Denny Jennings, yeah, you and Campanelli should go meet up for a beer over there in Philly. The town would be burned to the ground. What's going on, man? Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Denny. Likely or Otten? I'd go likely. I'm excited to see what he does. I know he did nothing in his week 1 start. Did nothing when Andrews got knocked out. But you look back to last year, I mean, he averaged over 15 fantasy points per game. It was a different offense. I talked about it on the waiver show, so you might have seen it already, Denny, but I'm going to get a lot of likely questions. I'm pivoting from Andrews to likely myself. It's just different when you're preparing as the starter. You're the number one guy. I know it's not the same scheme. I know there's more wide receiver competition. We cannot expect likely to do what he did last year. If we could expect that, we wouldn't be asking this question, right? I'm still intrigued by him. He's got so many interesting metrics in terms of yards per out run last year and athleticism. He's a local boy for me, Everett. So I like likely. I'm going to go him there. I think there's a lot more ceiling. Giuseppe, I'm going to say go get CJ Stroud. I would probably start Minshew over either of those guys, though. Yes, if the trade does not get through, I would go Minshew over either. Ridley or Charbonnet for C-Dog. Oh, you super chat this one earlier, and I said Charbonnet over Ridley as a reminder. Mr. Pena, who for my wide receiver 1 and 2 and flex spots? Dobbs, Cooper, Myers, Lockett, Dillon, Moss, Downs, Hunter, James Conner. Dump out the whole roster, why don't you, Mr. Pena? I can see why you are, though, because these are all kind of in their same spot. I think we can cross a few out, like Moss, pure handcuff at this point. Myers, garbage. I think we're doing Connor as the flex. That's kind of always what these come down to. Dillon, even in the starter role, I just don't like him. And then so for wide receiver, I like Lockett, and I think I go Romeo Dobbs over Amari Cooper. I don't know. I mean, Cooper just with DTR at QB, it's so sketchy. And at Denver gets Pat Surtain too. Only 5 points in DTR's first start. Yeah, I'm bumping Cooper down my ranks. I had him above Dobbs, and this is making me realize I do not want that. I would much rather have Dobbs in my lineup. So I'm going to go Romeo Dobbs there for you, Juan. I do like Downs too, but I'd like to see him make it through the game. I'm a little worried about the re-aggravation piece of things. Shades, 721. Need 3 standard. Javante, Etienne, Zach C, and Gibbs. I'm going Gibbs, Etienne, and Javante all ahead of Charbonnet. I like Charbonnet a lot today, but I think in standard against 49ers, that's a really tough bank is a touchdown, whereas all 3 of the other guys seem like good bets for touchdowns there. Over 40 you hear, Wolfpack. You'd love to see it. I'm going to keep going live for another 40 or so minutes to keep mowing through all these questions. At 10 o'clock, I am going to stop. So just a heads up there if you want to make sure you get in that super chat. I should be able to get through all these, though. But a super chat would be able to cut the line, and it supports your boy. So that'd be greatly appreciated as well. Freeway, though, is that thumbs up button. Please do consider liking. Again, lots of new names here. You'd love to see it. If you're enjoying the show, you enjoy getting our opinion, please do consider subscribing and continuing to help the Wolfpack as we climb towards 4K. Will we hit it in 2023? We will see. We're getting there, though. And it's because of your support, your help. Thank you again so much. Jordan Love or Geno Smith? I'm going Jordan Love there just because, 1, we don't even know if Geno Smith's going to play. Jamar, but 2, I'd rather have Jordan Love anyways. I think the script is going to be right where he's going to be playing catch-up. He's probably going to throw a pick 6 or something idiotic. And then have to play catch-up mode. So I like Jordan Love. As bad as he is real-life-wise, he's actually been a fairly solid fantasy QB for stretches of the season. He had a pocket where he was just, he is just atrocious real life and really not good fantasy. But 19 and 21, career high, 322 yards last week, 2 touchdowns, no instant. Quarterback 9 last week. He's been the quarterback 12 in 3 of his last 5 games. Quarterback 12 or better. I like Jordan Love. I do. I think he's a solid play today. I like him as a DFS punt if you want to pivot away from Dak, which I don't think you should do. I think Dak is going to dominate today. But yeah, I like Jordan Love. I think he's the nice safe play there. And then, Eric Richardson, Dobbs or Justin Fields. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. That's my quarterback 10 and 11, and my quarterback 10 is Justin Fields coming right in with 100 rushing yards. I'm a huge fan. Minnesota, not a bad matchup there either. So yeah, I'm going to go with Justin Fields there, facing off against each other. But it is close. I mean, my quarterback 10 and 11 right there, back to back. So yeah, I'm bumping up Love as well over Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I think so. Bring him up spot. Juan Pena, should I pick up Taysom Hill just in case, or he's a good bench stash? Yeah, I mean, I like having Taysom. At minimum, you don't have to face him, right? So yeah, I like picking up Taysom, but I'd keep riding for sure. I'll thank Kevin. I just saw your message. Enjoy breakfast, enjoy the parade. Appreciate you still popping in and helping us out this morning. You're the man. So if I'm a little behind on a super chat or two, my apologies. Our admin had to go enjoy Thanksgiving. What an asshole. Righty. We were at Juan Pena, Taysom Hill. All right, we're at Timothy Johnson. Have Rashad White, Devin Singleton. Probably mean D Singletary is what my guess. Tim, I would play Bijan over Singletary. I'd play Robinson over honestly all these guys other than Rashad White. But I'd rank them Rashad, Bijan, James Cook, and then Singletary. As good as he's been, as long as Dameon Pierce is in, I am still a little worried to see how that backfield shakes out. Jags are not a good matchup. Bijan, meanwhile, coming off the most work, over 20 carries, finally the lead back there. So yeah, I go Singletary on the bench there. That's how I would go with that. Mr. Tunes, we'll bring in our Colin and then get to Juan Pena. What's going on, my man? Tunes, how are you, brother?
Just calling to say happy Thanksgiving. It looks more like Merry Christmas up here right now. Yeah, have a good Thanksgiving, and I'll keep an eye out for super chats for you.
Oh, you're the man, Tunes. Coming in for the admin work over there. How much snow did you guys get?
We got like 4 or 5 inches, but then it rained for like 8 hours, so now it's down to just about an inch.
Dang. All right. Nice, man. Yeah, that indeed looks like the snow globe up there. Well, cheers, man. Thank you so much for calling and saying happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours as well. I hope you have an awesome holiday, Tunes. It's great seeing you, brother.
Thanks, Frank. Good luck today, everybody.
See you, man. Awesome. We have the best fans. You guys are the best out here. Obviously, I know Tunes. He's the man. He's long been the man. We know each other forever. All righty. We are now at Mr. Pena. Let's see what we got here. Who for my running back 1 and 2? Jacobs, Connor, Ford, Dylan, Hunt, Moss. I'm going to go Jacobs and Connor. I'm going to go with the first 2 you have there. Ford is right in that conversation, too. I really do love Jerome Ford. He's the man. But, yeah, I'm going to go I like Connor just a little bit more guaranteed work there. That's close, though. That's really close. I'm not considering the other 3, though, Juan. Jacobs is the easy favorite for me. And then should he be this easy favorite that we all consider him to be, though? I don't know. Kansas City's not a great matchup either. But, yeah, I got it. Antonio Pierce keeps talking about how I want 20 carries a game for Jacobs. Yeah, that's my guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go James, Connor, and Jerome, and Josh Jacobs. I'm just making sure my rankings reflect that. I do have Ford above him. Oh, Ford does get Denver. Why am I overlooking that? That's the best matchup for running backs. I'm gonna go Ford. I double check that. I'm gonna go Ford and Jacobs there. All righty, Jim. Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Warren, D. Hopkins, or McLaurin. Pick 2. I'm going to go Warren as my favorite here. And I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet. Terry just been so up and down. It's crazy that Sam Howell's on pace to throw for nearly 5K yards to set the NFL record for dropbacks. And Terry McLaurin just isn't that steady. And against a good Cowboys defense, yeah, I'm going to go the 2 running backs there, Charbonnet and Warren. Nico, Hollywood, or Charbonnet? I would go Nico slightly over Charbonnet in a full PPR league there. Johnny be good. Tim J. Start Taysom, Brian Robinson, or Javonte Williams over Garrett Wilson. I like, honestly, either running back. I think if Gibson's out, I would go Brian Robinson. And if Gibson's in, I go Javonte. But I'd go either running back over Garrett Wilson. Tim J. Danny Jennings, drop either Gabe or Judy for Reed. I'd drop Judy. I'd drop Gabe. I'd drop either. Yeah. I'd drop Judy first, I think. Johnny be good. You're adding Gus to this now. Ooh. I still go Nico in a full PPR over Gus very slightly. We're at Hoosier there. Likely or Logan Thomas, Pacheco, or Debo for Lucius. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. I would go Logan Thomas or Likely. I think I'm going to go Logan Thomas. Steadier track record. Dallas is a good team, but I could see a Thanksgiving Day touchdown for Thomas. I'm going to go. I'll go that. Do I really want to do that? Chargers matchup for likely is juicy. I'm gonna go likely. I know I've had a couple where I've wish-washed and I realize what the matchup is, and it's like, yeah, I can't bench likely against the Chargers there. And then Pacheco or Deebo was a very tricky one. I like Pacheco. Raiders, that's a good matchup. It's safer. You're going to get 15 to 20 carries. So I go there. Obviously, Deebo, it could blow up at any moment. So that's scary to bench in. I'm going to go Pacheco over Deebo very slightly. Yeah, I agree with you, Hoosier. You got to think ahead of the playoffs. The deadline's Wednesday. Yeah, wait it out. See if you get the win this week. Let Saquon do his thing. But yeah, it is a great roster. You really could make some damage. If you can get it for CeeDee Lamb, I would do it. Especially if you can get CeeDee Lamb today against Washington, then yes. Otherwise, I think there's no really reason to rush it. But if you can get CeeDee Lamb today against Washington, you do it, Hoosier. Seth Brubaker, Pollard, Ford, Mostert. Who do I bench? I think Ford, even though he gets that great match against Denver, the volume's a little bit safer with Mostert and Pollard. That became a closer to a 50-50 split there, Seth. Dallas or Cleveland defense this week. I got to go Dallas, number one defense. Cleveland's my number two, but I like Dallas more than them. So tough to choose between Gus and Mixon. I know, Nicola. I'm going to go with Gus, though, the touchdown machine that he is. Pern Orwin, happy Thanksgiving to you. No question. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, that thumbs up button, new subs, well, awesome to have you. But thank you. I'm just glad you're enjoying listen to the vibes, Good vibes on Thanksgiving, baby. Kiefer Cole, happy Thanksgiving to you. Start one, Monty, Mixon, B-Rob. I'm leaning Monty there. Going off for a turkey leg? Absolutely, Kiefer. If we do get word that Gibson is out, maybe I like B-Rob, but I still even would like Monty more. As good as Gibbs has been, Monty's still been a top 12 running back. He's a beast. I think we're definitely getting a 2-touchdown Monty day today. I love it. Wolf, let us know if you do a few people mentioned it. I got to set that up. A Patreon for the last few weeks of the season with Def Join. Yeah, I would love to do that. And maybe we could have a couple pop-up streams, a couple casual beers, more insider. I could figure out some content to do for just Patreon. Yeah, I really think we should do that. Why not? Let's see who joins. And then I can do more DMs and answer more questions too. So yeah, thank you, Giuseppe, for reminding me. I gotta get on that. If you had to choose one of the Green Bay receivers, Watson, Dobbs, or Reed, I would go with Dobbs. He's been the steadiest touchdowns. Reed's the most intriguing and getting the backfield usage and carries. But I still think the track record of Dobbs is a little bit stronger there. I would rank them Dobbs, Reed, Watson, which is crazy. Coming into the season would be the complete utter opposite. Happy Thanksgiving. Need two. Olave, DK, Thielen, Dell for Yak. I would go Dell, and I think I'm going Thielen there. I do really love DK today, but I'm going Dell and Thielen there. Good receivers there, Yak. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Charbonnet, Etienne, Ridley, and Pacheco. Who starts at running back and flex? So we got to bench one of these essentially. I think I mentioned Ridley. I think I just ride the three backs there. Get that safe volume, Benjamin, and ride it out. Oh man, we got a banger of a super chat here. Thank you so much. It's our man Chillard. What's up, Willard? Great to see you, brother. If you copy and paste the link, Chillard, you can call in if you want to chat some ball with me. I'll send the link out there again for anybody that wants to call in. You're welcome to, and I can pull you in and we can dive into this. But let's chat through this for now. I tried figuring out how to call in. I'm too old. That said, 7-4 dynasty finalizing the playoff roster. Herbert, CMC, JT, Akey, Devontae, Ayuk. This is a solid dynasty roster here. Watson just acquired 4 fields. Are we talking about Christian Watson? You traded away Justin Fields for Christian Watson? What are we doing, Chillard? Oh, man, I hope that's not true. Christian Watson's garbage. I mean, he's not garbage, but his quarterback's garbage, and they never hook up. So, oh, man. That is a good roster, though. Rest of the season outlook for Kyron, I love the guy. I don't know if you're trying to make a move for him, if you have him, and you're just trying to, figure out who you play him ahead of. I'm huge in Kyron Williams. I mean, points in 3 of his 6 starts. The volume has been better than even Christian McCaffrey, playing 90% of the snaps, like over half of his games, never below 70% of the snaps. I love Kyron. I think he is an absolute animal. He's practicing in full, so I'm not worried about this injury lingering right now. In terms of the schedule, you got Arizona this week, third most points. So if you're trying to trade for him, you want to get him this week. It's a great spot. The schedule the rest of the way, Cleveland, not good. Baltimore, middle of the road. Playoffs against Washington, New Orleans, then Giants, a great spot in the championship. Washington, not a bad spot in week 15. New Orleans isn't a good matchup for running backs either, though. So playoff schedule is looking okay. It's not a buy for his schedule. It's not a sell for his schedule either. It's just kind of there. And certainly in the championship week, he could go nuts. But you really want him for Arizona this week for sure. Third most points to backs, second most yards in the league allowed. This is going to be a 20-point Kyron day. They felt good enough about him that they sent Henderson away to the practice squad. So I think he's ready to go. Practicing in full, looking good. McVay talking about how it looked like Kyron. Like he's fully got all of his burst back. All the stuff you want to hear. That makes me think his workload will not be limited at all, which means probably 85% of the snaps, 15 to 25 carries, just smashing Arizona. So I love him. Then it's a little tricky with Baltimore and Cleveland in the next 2 weeks. Not great, but then the playoff schedule is okay too. So I really like Kyron. Yeah, running. He's been a top 7 running back in half PPR in 4 of 6 weeks. And he's been top 3 in 3 of those too. So I really like the guy. I don't know that he's a crazy talent, Chillard, but he just the volume. He's good enough of a player, and the volume is just so elite in this system. So yeah, I really like him the rest of the season, for sure. And definitely let me know if you want to try to call in and chat through this a little bit more, Willard. The link is pasted at the top. Just call in, and then you can copy and paste that link in there, for sure. But I like the roster for sure. I'm trying to get a little bit more about, like, did you trade Fields for Christian Watson? Because that kind of sketches me out. I guess long-term outlook could be okay, but it seems like Jordan Love, they're going to give at least a couple seasons here. So I'm worried about Watson and what it means. I saw a stat that, like, when Jordan Love's targeting any of the other 3 receivers, they're like his passer rating is like above 100. His highest is when he targets Jaden Reed, of course. And then when he targets Christian Watson, his quarterback rating is like a 35. It's bad. It's really bad. Thank you so much, though, for the very generous super chat, Willard. It is so greatly appreciated, my man. Thank you so much. And then we were at Ben Jefferson. Yeah, we just did. Yep. And we were doing that one. So who gets benched? Sport Dog, 8 team. Need 2 running backs: James Cook, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson, or Charbonnet. I am leaning Warren and Brian Robinson there. If Gibson's in, I probably put Charbonnet ahead of Brian Robinson, though, as a heads up, Sport Dog. If Gibson's out, then it's definitely Brian Robinson. Sam Laporta or Trey McBride? Ooh, good one, Peter. I'm going to go this week. I'm going to go Trey McBride. The Rams are the second most points allowed to the tight end position. Green Bay's middle of the road. But Laporta, I just talked about the stat earlier, where when both running backs have been healthy, they are such a funnel of this offense, especially, of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown as well, that there's just not been a lot of scraps left for Laporta. I believe he's averaging 10 targets in games when one of the running backs misses, and then under 7. I think it goes down to like 5 to 6 targets in games when both running backs are there. So I like McBride to be more of the target hog and just the safer floor there. Tim, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Nico, Ridley in my lineup. Pittman, Brown. I would get Pittman in over Ridley myself. I love Pittman. Gets a Tampa Bay team that's getting just dominated. So I would go Nico Collins and Pittman there. Sam Laporta, thoughts today? I think he could do well. He's good. He's a tight end 6. For me, a good source of volume. But again, that caution of when both running backs have been in, he really has been much more lightly used. Still a great touchdown bet. Still the clear number 2 target on this team. I guess that might be Jahmyr Gibbs these days. I think, yeah, Gibbs' ascension has definitely eaten into Laporta. There's no doubt about that. But he's still a top 6 tight end, in my opinion. Krana likes the stuffing. There you go. Oh, yeah, I mean, the pies on pies on pies. So most days for me, it's key lime pie. Today, it's pumpkin. I really only do pumpkin pie once a year. It's today, and I love it. Dump the Cool Whip on it, like you know. I can't do pumpkin pie more than a couple times a year, and this is certainly one of them. And I love it when I do it though. That 1 or 2 days, but in general, key lime pie is my favorite pie. Great question, indeed. Pickens, we're at this week. It depends who he's going up against, but I think the new OC certainly can't hurt. It can't be worse than Matt Canada. We know that. I still think it's getting a little overblown. I just think Pickett sucks. Maybe he doesn't. Imagine he comes out and just throws like 300, 3 touchdowns, and it really was Matt Canada is just like the devil. Could that be the case? Sure. Yeah, it really could. But I would not trust Pickens if I didn't have to. I'm minus 12 ECR on him and Deontay just because I think they suck. I think the Kenny Pickett sucks. They don't suck. Kenny Pickett sucks. And yes, please do remind me of Olave and Flowers. We'll keep getting through that one on Sunday. Chrono. McManus or Elliott? I still go with Elliott. I still go with the Bills guy. The Eagles guy facing the Bills. I think Elliott was really good for most of this year. I think I don't know. I haven't been studying Elliott's game logs. I'm not gonna lie. I just go with the offense that I think is going to put up some points, and against a good Bills defense, maybe they get stalled out a couple times, get a couple more field goals. They have been going for it more often though. Go just Dustin Hopkins. How about that? I love Dustin Hopkins. Anthony Romsberg, full PPR. I need 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a flex. Saquon White, B-Rob, Ayuk, Ridley, Kirk, Lockett, D-Hop. Why don't we just set your whole lineup for you, Anthony? I love it. I'm going to go Saquon and White, and then at flex. So let's go start with Saquon and White as my top 2 running backs. Top 2 receivers would be Ayuk and Kirk for me. And then the flex comes down to if Gibson's out, it's B-Rob. We don't think twice. If Gibson's in, I think we pivot over to Lockett tonight. You could still probably go B-Rob, but it worries me a bit because I think they could get game flowed out, and that becomes more of a Gibson. If they get game flowed out and Ryan Robinson's still the receiving guy, I like him. I like him even more, honestly, getting those dump offs, most points per target in the league. But if he is in, if Gibson's in and you lose that floor, I think you got to pivot to Lockett myself. Lucio. Stevenson, Cook, and McLaurin. I'm going to go Stevenson. I don't usually love Stevenson. But that's where I'm going to go. Lamar or Stroud. I got to go Lamar, I think, given the Chargers. Most points allowed to quarterbacks. That's just going to be a great spot for him. Fields or Murray. I'm going to go Murray, Benjamin. Very close, though. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Jonathan Reardon was offered Etienne and Saquon for McCaffrey. Oh, man. It's not an unfair deal. It's not an unfair deal at all. Saquon's playoff schedule sucks. I just got to toss that out there. That if you who are your 2 running backs if you keep McCaffrey, right? Like, who's going to the bench if you acquire Etienne and Saquon? It really depends on how big they upgrade your lineup. But I kind of want to lean just keeping McCaffrey here. Etienne seems to be trending the wrong way, and Saquon's schedule is just really bad. I had Herbert. He's earned it. Oh, of course, Herbert. Of course, I get that. It's more so. It's not even that I love Fields. I think you're absolutely right to keep Herbert. It's more so that Christian Watson. It's like, why him? And let's find out from Chillin. Again, $20 super chat. You can talk as much as we want, Chillin. Get on the call though. Let's talk. I think Watson's going to revert to the mean over the next 2 months. Maybe. I probably will because I hate cut him. Just I couldn't stand staring at him anymore. But that's what you're saying. Like, Love's missed him a few times. He's missed him a bunch of times. There's so many unrealized air yards. It's kind of like the Chris Olave. Like, what Jameis comes in and he starts slinging it to Olave, like, boom. We see what we love. But then when Carr's there, it takes him. And I'm kind of worried that's going to be the case with Watson. It's just Love sucks. If it was a different quarterback that could get him the rock, I think Watson's still a good player. It's not even that I don't like him. Well, he's soft though. He complains. He's soft. He's whiny. I shouldn't even say I like him. I don't think he's explosive as all hell. We saw how he could rack up points in bunches last year with Rodgers. I get it. There is a fantasy monster in there. I just think he's kind of a loser, like whiny, hurt, bad fantasy locker room presence. I'm not a Watson. I thought I was a Watson guy, and I've kind of gotten off that train, and I haven't regretted getting off it yet. Chris Olave or Metcalf? I'm going to go Metcalf there. Tyler Kelly. I really like Metcalf tonight. San Fran, for as good as they are as a run D, they are not much of a pass defense at all. But that said, Reed and yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, um, Marvin Harrison, my God, for Heisman baby, love Marvin Harrison. What an absolute animal! Like he's going to be the next coming. But that's what you're getting at. Like to Reed and Dobbs, like part of why I'm a little down on Watson is I really like Reed, and he seems to mesh really, really well with what Love does. You know, his passer rating when he targets him is the best in the league, or one of the best in the league, and certainly the best on the team. Dobbs just a consistent red zone presence that kind of caps Watson there. You'd think Watson, the big frame, would be the go-to, but that's Dobbs. So yeah, he just spreads the ball around so much, does Jordan Love, and when he does go after Watson, it's usually an inaccurate ball. So that's why I'm more so down on him. It's less about Watson's own ability and more so his quarterback, and is that going to actually improve or not? I don't think so this year, and I don't know about it long term either. Starts Nico, Zay, Hollywood, or Deontay, says Jose. I would go Nico. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I would go. Zay's got me kind of in a pretzel because that matchup's so good. There's no Andrews. Deontay's out of this question. No, not even thinking about him. Not thinking about Zay Jones. I'm guessing it's Zay Flowers, right? If this is Zay Jones, then we're obviously not talking anymore. It comes down to Nico or Zay for me. I think I go Nico, but Zay is really, really close. I want to bump him up. Like I'm at least moving him up to this tier here. I like Zay honestly more than Waddle, so I'm gonna bump him up over that. I still really like Nico Collins though. 11 target. That's a tricky one, but I like Nico Collins there. Ryan, and thanks again for the super chat, Ryan. Earlier, I wish I saw this. I would have let you cut the line. Pierce influencing on Singletary this week and rest of the season. It really is. It's so hard to have a read. Like I would guess it's going to be annoying enough that Singletary isn't the must start that he was. I think Singletary's still the lead back. I think we can put him in for about 65% of the snaps, 55 to 60% of the work. And that will be good enough on the right matchups. But I could see Pierce becoming a goal line guy or, mixing in every 2 drives, like 2 drives Singletary, 1 drive Pierce. And just being annoying enough that we're not getting 30 touches. You're not getting 85% of the snaps, 91% of the carries like we did the last 2 weeks. So I think Singletary does take a little bit of a hit here. That being said, Pierce was really bad, and if this coaching staff, like this would be an amazing week if Pierce is back and then Singletary still gets 25 carries, 90% of the snaps, and Pierce is nothing. That is within the realm of possibility, and you could feel amazing about Singletary moving forward if that's the case. My guess it's about a 60-40 favoring Singletary, which makes him matchup dependent in a committee. In a matchup like this week, not good. Dustin Poole. We got 40 here, Wolfpack, as we kind of wrap up the mailbag. Like I said, I'll go till 10, so keep getting the questions in. But that thumbs up button, the shares, the likes, the retweets, a lot of new names here in the mailbag. Would love you guys to consider subscribing and joining, helping us continue to make that climb. We'd love to have you here for more and more shows. You guys are bringing awesome questions. It'd be great to have even more of you in the Wolfpack. So thank you again so much for being here. That free and easy way to help you guys. So many generous super chats today, too, on Thanksgiving. Very giving of you all. I'll make sure to put it into a DFS lineup and win $1 million, and then I can retire. But no, thank you again so much, guys. You guys are all so awesome. And if you want to ask, again, DFS question, I'd chill it if you're still there. You always like to talk DFS, like betting. It's a weird slate that I'm happy to kind of go through all angles. But thanks again. One last plea for that thumbs up button. With 40 of you here, thanks so much. It's an honor to be here with you on Thanksgiving. Dustin Poole. Hello, I need 2 flex spots, full PPR. Keaton Mitchell, Charbonnet, D. Adams, Downs, and Reed. I'm going to go Charbonnet and Devontae there. The other ones are all really exciting rookies too, nonetheless, Dustin. But I just feel like Charbonnet with the work today, and then Adams. I mean, it's Devontae, and he's last week, started to get his legs back under him. The other 3 are just more so exciting bench players, in my opinion, whereas Charbonnet and Adams are really good starts this week. Thielen for Charles Ward, rather. What's up, Chuck? Thielen, Connor, Singletary for flex. I'm starting Charbonnet. What do you think? So I think Charbonnet is a good start today. I'd have him above all of these guys, and I think I go with Thielen. Frank Reich coming back last week as the play caller. What does Adam Thielen do? 11 targets, right back into the absolute hog roll. He's just been really, really steady. Now, there is the risk facing Tennessee this week. They are much better against the slot than they are against outside receivers. They're second most generous to outside receivers, sixth worst matchup for slot. And we saw that last week with Calvin Ridley going bananas and Christian Kirk being meh. All that to say, though, it's not a scary pass defense really either way. And I feel better about Thielen when Reich's calling the plays. I know he's been pretty shaky since the bye, right? Like in half PPR, 11, 5, 7, 11. So let me just double check what scoring you gave us here. I guess we don't have the scoring, which would be helpful because this is running back versus wide receiver with full PPR. But Thielen even in the half, let's just assume it's half there for you, Charles. 11, 5, 7, 11, not great, but you can't forget 17, 26, 12, 22, 23. Guy was a league winner for so long, and still could be. I don't think he lost a step. It was the play calling switch, and yeah, I go Thielen there. Thanks to the man, pumpkin pie till I die. Thank you, Jonathan, for being here and for your support of the show. Start 2 PPR: Bijan, Pollard, Monty, or Mostert. Could also flex out Diggs. I would not take out Diggs, but these are some good running backs here, Jake. I lean Monty as my favorite here. I think we get as good as Gibbs been. Monty still remained very, very relevant. I think we got definitely 2 touchdown upside potentially. I actually kind of like Mostert with Achane out. I mean, he has been an animal this year. So I'm going to go Monty and Mostert there. But what a great backfield you've got there, Jake. So good luck. 6-5 need the win. I would consider maybe making. I guess you could consider with these backs maybe taking Diggs out, but not against the Eagles. No way. No, you're not taking Diggs. I won't even actually entertain that again. Eagles give up the most points to wide receivers. This is the Diggs bounce back spot. I like getting Monty in today. Get your 2 touchdowns, and then I personally like Mostert. I know I'm higher on him than most, Jake. But yeah, I like Mostert more than Bijan and Pollard this week. Good luck, man. I hope you get that win that you need, Jake. Thank you. Thank you for a good question. That's a tough one. Jose, what's your outlook on Zay Flowers? I really like him. I mean, he's already been neck and neck with Andrews as the clear number 1 receiver here, and main passing game vein. And now no Andrews. I could see him being a 12 to 10, 10 to 12 target guy every single week. I wish the touchdowns were more often. I wish the deep shots were more often. It's a low ADOT kind of dink and dunk role, but in full PPR, especially, that has a place. And with no Andrews, I could see that role continuing to evolve as well. So yeah, I think he's going to keep going. This is a great week to find out. No Andrews in his first time without Andrews. He gets the Chargers, the most points allowed to receivers. Like, wheels up, let's go. I think that's great. NC Firearms, PPR Flex, AJ Dillon, Najigba, Rashid. Shahid's just too inconsistent. I can't go there. Maybe he blows up, maybe he doesn't. It's just such a tricky wheel to play. I mean, Dillon's the volume, the safe. I kind of like Najigba there. I like Najigba. And so Achane's not 100% out yet, but he's trending towards out. So, Jake, we'll find out tomorrow, the Black Friday game. So make sure you're on top of that. Like, a lot of people forget there's a game tomorrow. But if Achane is officially ruled out, yeah, it's Mostert. If Achane's in, then so let's just play that hypothetical. If Achane is actually active, you would have missed out on Pollard today, right? But Bijan's a very nice pivot if Achane is in. And it's Dak over Fields. Dak might be my quarterback 1 this week. He's going to go nuts against them. Wendigo. Start 3 running backs: Etienne, Kamara, Gibbs, Montgomery, or Mostert. I would go. What a backfield! I'd probably go the first 3. I'm not opposed to starting Gibbs and Montgomery, but when you have 2, such other great options. I mean, I love Mostert too. You guys coming in here with these backs. It's like, how the hell do these backfields exist? Why are we not trading and trying to maximize our depth for the playoff stretch run? Try to get the starting lineup as good as you can. Might need to do some trades here, Wendigo. These are 2 good of options that you got. But yeah, I go Kamara, Etienne, and Gibbs of those ones. Man, what a backfield, though. Charles Ward, full PPR, Mixon, Charbonnet, Connor. Need turkey too. Happy Turkey Day, thanks. Happy Turkey Day to you too, Charles. I would go Charbonnet and I think Mixon here. I could see him catching a ton of dump offs. He was becoming more and more a focal point of the passing game, anyways. And Browning did give him a few good looks there at the end of the in that game where he was dinking and dunking with him. So I'm gonna go Charbonnet and Mixon for this one. Charles. Alrighty, Wolfpack. That wraps up the mailbag right at 10, which is right where we wanted to kind of end this. Thank you again so much, 36 on your last way out. That thumbs up button would be so greatly appreciated. But so many super chats, so much generosity. It's the day of giving, and you guys were truly giving back to your boy today, and I greatly appreciate that. So thank all of you so much for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Best of luck. NC Firearms, I'm going to go Garrett Wilson there for you. And thanks again so much for choosing to spend it with you. It's so thankful to have a fan base that shows up and asks such great questions and so loyal and super chats, like all that stuff. You guys are awesome. So thank you again. We have the best fans in the world. Check out roastedjournal.com. I'll have my updated rankings all up there. But have a great, amazing holiday with you and your family and all your loved ones. And in a world of sheep, guys, be the wolf. Later.